See how they want to line up against each other. It's all standards. Ah, no, there's a teamy ban in for Cream.
Yeah, I want to see Hot go for the not Ryoma or Valheim, which are pseudo ADC carries. They have range, but not exactly the damage they need. And
Valheim being banned out.
So the teamy is a specific answer to Sleepy. It's a specific statement of, I don't want to see Z get power farm.
Yeah.
And because
we know that 09 and Z combo is huge.
And because they've gotten rid of that, they'll now follow through and get rid of more supports that can be pulled out.
Technically triple support ban, even though Xenial isn't really played in the true support. But interesting bans thus far. I think that these teams aren't fully recognizing how the meta is shaping right now.
Elsu's still up. Richter's still up. Sephiroth's still up.
Quillen.
What is this ban phase?
I think Cream has to pick Elsu right now.
This is Cream target banning Sleepy and not the whole team, just the support role to deal with.
Well, they'll get Elsu. They'll get Elsu, and that actually is massive because I do not see Wisp winning into Elsu. Wisp is too slow. Same with Telenos. They're slow, static characters. However, the fact they are drafting Elsu so early on obviously means that Sleepy team are going to build their draft with the idea of shutting down the sniper. That's why Knight, a formidable melee jungle player, will get a Nakaroth.
Matt, TJ, I think that Sleepy just shot themselves in the foot.
This felt like Cream target banned Sleepy, so Sleepy had the door open for him when Cream were focusing on one part of it, and now actually Cream are picking this roster up.
The thing is, if Sleepy just banned out the Elsu, I don't think that Cream would have gone for the sideline ADC, but if Elsu's open, you always go for him. They just basically left the door open for them to outplay them, outdraft them here.
And it's going to be a very rare opportunity to see an Elsu in action. Whether Cream can use him,
and not just the Elsu. Yeah, not just the Elsu, the Richter as well. Elsu and Richter on the same team. What is this?
Elsu, Richter, Tulin, now a hover over the Wonder Woman. This is a very solid roster for Cream. Sleepy in response, have the Crest for frontline, the Nakaroth to dive back, the Omen to help with that, I think, and they will be settling on the Wisp with the Sephira in mid.
Yeah, Wisp comes in, Aram's in. All right.
I'm sad.
Sad?
I'm sad because we finally see the Wisp come out, and I think they're going to lose.
I don't think the Wisp can win into Elsu. That was what I called as soon as it came out, because Wisp is too slow. The Wisp is going to move very slowly through the lane. They don't have very much mobility, one short hop, and that means the snipes are going to constantly be arcing in that bot lane duel.
If I was on Cream Esports, I would be feeling, based on those bans, it really did feel like they're solving a little bit of the puzzle by targeting, a really powerful thing for Sleepy. And then I would be feeling like, okay, well, we're putting our attention on that. Let's hope it works out. Oh my God, it's worked out.
Yeah, they get everything that they wanted, everything that they ever wanted with Richter and the Elsu here. And I love the way that they finish out their draft because they had the early game in Richter. Richter's an amazing early game hero, so they capitalize on that. They go, Tulin, that's another early game hero. Aram, that's another early game hero. Wonder Woman, she's a great early game jungler. They're going to win this game so hard in the early game that Sleepy cannot come back.
So if Cream don't win this game, that says a lot for their season.
Yeah, it very much does.
Let me put that little bit of pressure on them right now. We know, we can say, all right, the 2-0 that they had yesterday, they were against Nova, easily the best team out of EU. All right, so now do it against Sleepy team with a roster that you were kind of lucky in places to get, and a lot of people would snap up immediately.
This is one of the best drafts I've seen. If somehow Sleepy turn this, they are much better than we thought. If somehow Cream throw this, well, the inverse is true.
I mean, it might be a case of, we can have Elsu, grab him. Okay, we've got Elsu. Can anyone use Elsu? Well, none of us have ever been Elsu.
And we did speculate. We don't know who plays, and now we've got our answer. It will be locked in by Hot, and that right away puts many of my concerns to bed because he is such a mechanically talented player. That Snipe shaving 09's hair a little bit.
Oh, Sabo in the midst of 4, but that's okay because she's an Aram. No big deal. But I gotta see Cream. They're gonna have to push this game out, and it didn't work against Nova, who actually had a late game comp in that series as well in both games.
And Sleepy team can be very, very aggressive. It could be that the sharp rotations of Sleepy begin to chase out Cream Esports here.
Did you see that from Few? Beautiful, untouchable, perfect timing right when the jungle strike came out.
The mobility and the map control of Sleepy looks really good. If Cream can't answer that, then it doesn't matter how good your team fights up. We should put that out.
A little bit of a skirmish up top. The thing I want to see from Sleepy here is to just bend but not break. I don't care if they fall down 1,000 gold. you know, a few minutes in the game, that's okay. They can come back from that. What they can't come back from is just an utter drubbing because of the ridiculous early game that Cream Esports has.
We'll have to see if that happens, because Cream don't quite have a ridiculous early game yet. They might have the cards for it. Z, however, is holding his own in lane, clearing wave again.
3 players bottom just to make sure that they push them in, getting ready for this dragon, but not for another 20 seconds.
Talented will need to drift back as Sleepy Team pressure up top. They're going to try and get that Spirit Sentinel onto the Nacroth. We haven't really talked about it, but Nice getting Nacroth might be the answer they needed.
He's able to farm up. If he's able to just be defensive, that's great for them. I love how defensively Sleepy Team is playing. They know exactly what they're doing. Yeah, and because of that, they've done such a good job at getting the opening cold and forcing Cream Esports away from the early objectives they like to feed over the Hot. TJ, gold lead is in favor of Sleepy. This is bad.
And the Abyssal's looking over towards them as well. Vico with the front line, will have the water wall for the zone. Knight gets the Abyssal, and it's an early lead with Denalians chained down by few. The Jets Embrace is landed, and a kill comes through. Make that 2 as Massivo falls. Vico's here for the kill if he can get it on the Frost. Bracelets are enough to stall, but the shock and awe is there. Frost, what are you doing? The lasso right into the midst of the entire team.
We've seen this before. Yesterday, Cream Esports had the early game as well. Maybe not to this extent, but they fell behind to Nova. Now Sleepy Team doing their best Nova impression and taking it to them.
Sleepy sending them to bed with no dinner. And because of that, I don't know what Cream's response looks like. Well, it has to come from Hot, right?
It absolutely does. He's the one hero that can scale very well into the late game. Perhaps they play for that. Perhaps they could play to a point where Hots can just do ridiculous damage off their snipes and they capitalize, but really, that feels like their only hope.
We're 3 minutes into game and you just uttered the phrase, only hope.
It's tired. What can I say?
Knight does get bullied off. Frost actually not doing too bad either, apart from that one slightly questionable lasso.
Right, we talked about early game. Let's talk about late game for a bit here. Who are the heroes that can scale late? It's going to be Hot, who can do great. It's going to be Talented, who actually can get in the backline and got buffed into the late game recently. Tulin's not as bad in the late game as he used to be, and Frost can transition to being that front liner.
Speaking of Few, oh my god. I was going to say Few's going to get 1v2'd, but his spider sense tingled. And he said, no thank you, and just left as soon as the second player came through for the flank.
Yeah, very good play from Sleepy Team, recognizing just the great map presence to know when teams or when the players are rotating over.
And this was my caveat to the draft. I said, yes, Cream Esports have a very good team fight comp, but if Sleepy can out-macro them, it will not matter.
And that's certainly what they're doing at the moment, getting a huge gold lead. They had a gold lead before they even picked up the Abyssal Dragon. That just shows that they're superior in the rotations.
And here they are, contesting for a second Abyssal. Cream are nearby. Hot, I don't think, has landed a major snipe yet. He'll have his opportunity. Here is the fight on the Abyssal, comes through. Knight does get it. Frost chained in underneath the shock and awe. Wasimo very low as well. Frost needs to bail. He's got a Knight low, but they cannot secure the kill. And Z gets more. The chase continues. Knight's on in. Vico with the tides of life will get to aliens. It's Frost to fall, and 3 kills over to Sleepy.
The bad gets worse as Sleepy Team has a 6-0 advantage. I didn't know we're playing tennis.
Does have the lane pressure, and it will be the tower down with Z picking up that bot lane. This is looking insanely good.
This is just looking, oh, it depends on who you're talking about.
You're right.
Sleepy looking amazing here, but Cream,
Knight!
Even more go down.
Knight says good night, cleans up the mid lane. Sleepy, what do you do when they can do that?
Well, I think that Hot needs to hit every single snipe from now on, as Wasavo's getting low as well.
I have bad news. I haven't noticed a single one being landed so far.
Yeah, that is just not a good spot to be in.
And that's devastating because, well, it could be for 2 reasons. It could be because he's doing so little damage that I haven't noticed, and it could be because Hot's just not landing them.
He's also building into an auto-attack build at the moment, at least to start off with the Fafnir's talent. So perhaps he's kind of admitting that he is going just for the auto-attacks here.
Yeah, and that could be a sign of just weakness with the character, unfamiliarity. What we were talking about in the pre-game, what Matt brought up. If Hot's new to the character, he just maybe is unable to make it happen, no matter how powerful it is on paper.
He just got killed by an Omen. Omen has very short range, in case you didn't know.
That's a bad Omen.
Oh, TJ. It hurts. It hurts.
You will be there alongside Knight for wave clear. And look at this macro play from Sleepy.
Sleepy just all over the map, like you mentioned, not missing a single wave here and rotating perfectly over to this Abyssal Dragon.
All that wave clear that they were just deploying was so that this Abyssal Dragon was uncontested. They even pushed in all the waves, recalled to base, healed up their HP so that they could come in on... Oh, come, just what? Thank you. And pick up the Abyssal Dragon.
I think maybe they were baiting for something there, but... yeah, like you mentioned, when you clear out the wave, it forces the opponent to either clear the wave or contest the Abyssal Dragon. Either way, they're going to be behind.
Now, they've got the Abyssal to their benefit eventually. And they'll look to use that gold advantage, but they don't really need it because the level advantage is also in their favor.
Every missed snipe just makes me want to cry, TJ.
Yeah, you must. There are a lot of tears on your face. I can see them. Because there have been a lot of missed snipes.
We need the makeup lady to come back.
Because the amount of pressure that's coming out from this backline Elsu, from the character that's been banned almost 100%, is zero.
Oh, he's just 1v2ing. What is going on?
Knight's here as well. Frost with the bracelet stun. Z strides forward. Oh. There's the shock and awe. Kill on the Frost. Wasibo flees behind tower, behind 2 towers, and he's still not safe.
I am in shock and I am awed, and so is Cream Esports, because they are falling below this pressure.
Welcome to the Wisp meta, and welcome to the Sleepy meta. As the high ground tower gets knocked very low, Talented does dive in. Wasibo lands the snare, and Vico does not care. There's a nice Thunderbird. Aliens goes down as well, and this is Sleepy team looking dominant.
Seems like the only person that Z won't kill is his own teammate as he gets snared under there. 12-0 here in favor of the Sleepy team, and they're not letting up.
Frost finally pushes forward, lands good bracelets, knocking Z and 09 low. If Talented can find the punish, the snipe will land. Talented does not survive though, as Knight dashes in with View, and they get instant revenge.
That snipe had to happen, or else I think that Cream would have been relegated from the palace.
Oh no! How have you missed that? Vico standing dead still, will walk away from it. The tower gets knocked down. 2 high grounds now gone.
Oh my goodness, Sleepy continue to push in. That is all the high grounds down here. All that's left is the core. It's only a matter of time.
One more chance. Wasibo needs to hold now. He's got 1 wave cleared, but Z's here just chipping away. All the respawns are out. Cream will dive in. Talented leading the way with the mark of the Hunter. It's not enough to kill Vico.
Well, not yet, but he's going to get away this time, and Sleepy is just going to reset, go for the Darkslayer, and just finish the game, presumably.
Do they need Darkslayer?
They don't really need anything, but it's kind of like you might as well.
They believe it would be a waste of time. They're going to wait for those super minion waves, I think, to come through.
I think the most BM way to finish this game is to get the Darkslayer, kill everyone, and not touch the core and let the dragon kill it.
Are you giving them ideas? That seems wildly unnecessary.
Sorry, my imagination ran away with itself.
There's the super minion wave arriving in mid. You can see that level advantage and just how long it's taking Cream to just even kill 1 wave.
Right, they don't even have the farm to kill the waves. That is a bad place to be in for sure. And multiple players trying to go for 09. He's just standing in their face.
And if you can stall out this game, you need to find an isolated pick. 09 won't be it, given his high HP.
I think these 3 super minions up the middle will kill the team of Cream.
We'll see. There's the Drake summoned. Now the pressure comes through for the game end. Metamorphosis spent. 09 takes the lead. Knight tags in. Wasibo's gone. There's the shock and all. This team fight should be over. Z's not low, but he'll flicker to safety, and it's almost a complete ace. This will be Sleepy team in 10 minutes, putting Cream Esports to bed.
Sleepy team with a dominant performance. We talked about if they belong in the top of the league, and they're showing themselves that perhaps they are. This was such a great performance there.
A great performance, yeah, but you had a little caveat in the middle of that, DT. You were like, perhaps they should be here, as opposed to conclusively they should be here. And I think your reason for that is because Cream are really raising questions. They got here through that 7-way tiebreak. They knocked out decent teams to do it as well. I think Dead Rabbits fell to them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so, yeah, I mean, well done, Cream, and they've qualified for the Vale series, but they are getting ruined. And I put a bit of pressure on them before that game. You've got a roster here that's a bit of a gift. Admittedly, in terms of heroes, not necessarily considering your opposition, just in terms of a package of heroes that you can do work with, have those ones.
I was convinced that if the teams were even remotely close, that was Cream's game.
Yes.
And it was the exact opposite. That is a terrible sign or omen, like you like to go for.
Compare the difference between Jognar and Toro and these two teams.
My head's not
Explore,
capable.
please educate us, TJ.
Because
what goes on in your head?
I would say if Jognar and Toro are close,
yes,
then these two teams are as well.
There's shade being thrown here, but it's that kind of shade we have to go. Yeah, that's shade.
The replays from that last game will tell a sorry tale. You can see the pressure consistently coming out from Sleepy Team, led by 0-9 with that metamorphosis.
This is early game. They're not supposed to win the early game, TJ.
You were praising this early game lineup as well, and within 3 minutes there were 3 kills on the early game team. 3 of them dead, and then the deaths kept coming and the goal kept coming. What didn't keep coming, the only thing though that saved this from being a perfect game against Cream was a snipe landed. There was one kill, and it was one snipe, and I didn't see anything else from Elsu in the hands of Hots, who we were praising up earlier on, but with Elsu, he can't hit them.
Like I said, a mechanically gifted player, a very good side lane player, definitely not comfortable in the side lane role.
Here it comes, I think. We might give him his moment.
Here we go.
There's the kill.
Yay!
We got it. But 0-9 did a great job protecting his team constantly with that massive health bar, making sure that they stayed alive, and stay alive they did through the end of the game.
I mean, he landed that snipe there as well, to be fair, but, you know, they are all standing there in a great big pack. There you go.
31% of the team's damage comes from Hot. I'm actually surprised it was that high. All of that came, it felt like, from the auto attacks, kiting back the fight, and that was not closing out the kills, especially when you look at where all that damage went. If you're curious, it went into the Crest. He took 40% of his team's damage, and 0-9 just quite happily will accept the chip coming out from Nelsu in order to make sure that the rest of his team survives.
So we thought that roster banning out was to try and target what Sleepy Team would do in terms of support to Z. We thought Z might roll in with a Wisp. He did, she did, and now 0-9 support still has worked out.
Yeah, worked out great, and 0-9 actually played an amazing Crest. There were multiple times during that game where he used his metamorphosis at the exact perfect time, especially, I think it was the second or third clip of that replay when the entire team was coming in and he forced them out right when it seemed that they were going to contest it, and that meant that it was a disastrous team fight for Cream.
I didn't actually notice this, but Fico walks away with the most kills on the team, 6, 0, and 11 as his KDA.
Well, when the entire opposing team can't actually kill you, what you can do is go in with a Tide of Life, damage them all, and just say, what are you going to do about it?
Not much. Okay, Daniel, we've been mean. That draft definitely wasn't comfortable for Cream. How do they turn it round? Is it just a draft question? Yeah, sure, maybe this comp is good on paper, but they didn't feel comfortable. Or are there in-game mistakes being made?